evening, YouTube. You guys are now watching another segment of the Cali Effect. Today, we're going to be going over that Fluffal deck profile. Now, why am I not using my DSLR camera to give you guys high definition, super YOLO swag, high-end rarity Fluffal cards? Well, mainly because I've been really cut for time in this past week, so I felt that giving you guys a DevBro deck profile was better than not giving you guys a deck profile at all. Ultimately, let's get to the deck profile, and I can explain my choices and opinions on this deck. We're going to start off with two Edgip Tomahawk, 3 Fluffal Dog, 2 Edgip Chain, 3 Fluffal Bear, 2 Edgip Sabers, 1 Tour Guide of the Underworld, 2 Fluffal Owl, and 3 Fluffal Wing. Now, a lot of people, or a lot of builds that I have seen, wants to run like every single Fluffal, and personally, I think that that's subpar. A lot of people's reasoning is, oh, I have more attacks for my Frightful Wolf, or I have more targets for my Frightful Tucker, which I feel that isn't necessarily that bad, but as you guys can see consistently on DevPro, which I have not been able to playtest this in real life, which is the reason why we're getting another reason why we're getting a DevPro deck profile, is that the deck doesn't really need that many targets to win. I mean, you only need maybe 2 or 3 monsters in hand, and then you follow up with Fight for Fusion, and you practically win. I mean, especially with the draw power that Fluffal Wings does give you, it really doesn't matter. You're just going to go and get what you want, and you're gonna win without those cards. I mean, consequently, I don't like Tour Guide, and I kind of do like Tour Guide. It's kind of, you know, wishy-washy. The main reason behind it is that Tour Guide can search out Fluffal or Edgip Sabers when I really need Edgip Sabers to the field. The drawback is that Tour Guide sits there, and I mean, worst case scenario, Tour Guide does go into windups and mains. I mean, I probably would drop Tour Guide for the Fluffal Owl, just because Fluffal Owl does allow me to search polymerization, and it does allow me to fusion summon. But you know, I'm really feeling Tour Guide, especially if you guys seen in that DevPro duel. Tour Guide was pretty good. I felt that two of every Edgip is pretty good. Granted, I have no Tomahawk targets, if I'm correct, but Tomahawk is like mathematicians in the deck. You summon Tomahawk, and you get to send Edgip Chains and Edgip Sabers to the graveyard, and he becomes that name. So essentially, he could be your third copy of Edgip Chain. He could be your third copy of Edgip Sabers. I mean, I really like the card, and 1800 attack is not that bad. I really decided for 2-2 and 2. I didn't feel like there was you know, a better ratio right now. I mean, you could run 3 Sabers and 3 Edgip Chains, but then you're really relying on adding them to your hand, which isn't that bad, but Tomahawk is just really good at sending those targets to the graveyard, so I'm like really wishy-washy with that. The thing that I really wanted to point out is that this 9-card engine is amazing. The 3 Fluffal Bear, the 3 Fluffal Wing, and the 3 Toy Vendor. I've actually seen decks play all 9 of these cards, or all 3 of these cards, without, you know, playing Fluffals, because it's just so good. Fluffal Bear searching Vendor, and then Wings combing off Vendor with your draw and discard, and it just does so much. I've actually seen a couple of successful Burning Abyss builds play this, just because it doesn't matter if you're hitting a Burning Abyss monster, it's going to get its effect, and then you get to draw a crap ton of cards. So I really think that was just really good for Fluffals. This is basically your main component, your main engine. If you guys want to see how it works, I mean, the DevPro Duel is on my channel. Instant Fusion was definitely a card I was iffy at, but then I decided to put more XE targets and then Gaga Cowboy, because for some reason this deck just loves to leave my opponent at less than 800 or 800 life points, which could be an argument to run more Fluffals, but then I could just make Gaga Cowboy, so it doesn't matter. Or, you know, any of my other useful XE monsters instead of having these guys, which I don't think are that bad. I just feel that there's better options. 3 Fright for Fusion is just, I mean, you know, that's the card. It's your Dragon's Mirror. It's just too good. Raigeki, because it's Raigeki. I actually wanted to run multiple copies of Polymerization, so you know, it is what it is though. 2 Dark Fusion. Now the reason why I like Dark Fusion is because all your fusion monsters, for the exception of Northern, which you won't fusion summon for, are fiends. So basically what Dark Fusion does, it lets you fuse, and then the special summon monster can't be targeted by your opponent's spell, traps, or card effects this turn. So yeah, that's, I mean, I just felt that was pretty good as opposed to running 3 Polymerization. You could run 2 copies of Polymerization and 1 Dark Fusion, mainly because Polymerization is recursable and searchable, so, you know. But I just felt that the Dark Fusion was way better. You guys should already know what Toy Vendor does. It's the best card in the deck. As for traps, I'm extremely shaky on. To be honest with you, I run 2 Storming Mirror Force, 2 Mind Crush, 2 Fusion Reserve, 3 Fiendish Chain, and a Solemn Warning. The only cards after playtesting for this format, granted it was a completely different deck, but after playtesting in this format, I don't really like Fiendish Chain in this format, and Storming Mirror Force just seems to be really slow, even though it is a good card. I just feel that the Mind Crush, Fusion Reserve, a Solemn Warning, and maybe a Vanities, or even some of the Virus cards are even better, because like I said, they're just too slow. I really don't care about you getting off your effect monsters. I can't stop your Cosmo Farm Girl. I can't really stop anything with Fiendish Chain. So it's like, why even bother? It's just going to sit on the field dead. So, I mean, to be real with you, I would go something like this. And then we'd add you. And I actually add another deck. I mean, I don't expect the OTK, my opponent, any given time. But I probably, for trap lineup, I'd probably run something like this or playtest something like this, and maybe add a couple more Fluffal cards or like a polymerization in the Dark Hole or like 2 Dark Holes or something like that, and really just focus on OTKing the living daylights out of my opponent, not worrying about back row, not worrying about traps. Mind Crush is definitely the most valuable card of this format. It is so good, and that's basically what I probably would try out for the Fluffal deck, just because I love these cards. These cards, like, they ruin your opponent's life if you're playing against just about anything your opponent plays. As for the extra deck, one Fright for a Saber-Tooth Tiger. Um, it's okay. It's really good, but it's just like you don't summon it enough to warrant more than one spot. Two Fright for Wolf. Obviously, that's your OTK card. Two Fright for Tiger. You only need two. I've never needed more than two. It's your boy wiper. You really do a lot of damage with this card. Two Fright for Sheep. This card's amazing. This card's the reason why you actually play Edge Chain. As you guys can see, all the other ones require sabers, but this is the reason why you play Edge Chain, because this card is like, it's an Armadas that keeps coming back, so it's even better. Oh, and it's an instant fusion target. If you wanted to instant fusion and then fuse into Saber-Tooth Tiger, there's some really wacky combos with that. That's another reason why I run instant fusion. Elder Entity Norden, and now for the extra deck is Dark Rebellion XE. Now, a lot of people are like, how do you make Erad? I mean, normally if I draw Erad, it's so easy to make rank 4s nowadays. You just make Dark Rebellion, then you Erad to Dark Rebellion, and then your opponent cries. Or you can make your monsters big enough to Erad, but, Dark Rebellion is typically the best choice that you really want to do. Silent Honor Art, Castell, Dweller, Cowboy, and Wind Up Zen mains. Like I said, there's a lot of other choices that you guys could be playing. Personally, this is what the Fluffal build. This is the Fluffal build that I use, that I was most successful with. I feel that this deck is definitely, like I said in my video, a couple videos before, it's one of the most underrated decks of the format. It's so fast, it OTKs, and just the fact that it can use the viruses. And I don't even want to stress how good the viruses are. They're amazing in this format. But thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy.